a clear and crisp Saturday in South Bend. The kind of day you picture when you think of Notre Dame football. As the Irish start the second half of the season, the midterm grade is an A. A challenging September schedule aced. An explosive offense answered the biggest road test. And a top-notch pass rush leading the charge into the second half of the season. Today, the Irish have an opponent who knows the moment. Pittsburgh has knocked off highly ranked title contenders each of the last 2 years. They arrive in South Bend, seeking another upset today. 6-0 Notre Dame, 3-3 Pittsburgh, and welcome to Notre Dame Saturday on NBC. Well, the big questions at the start of the season have been emphatically answered by the Irish, one of 11 unbeatens left in college football. On the remaining schedule, no teams that are ranked. If Notre Dame wins out, very likely they will be in the college football playoff. But you know college football. It's all about what happens in the second half of the season, where the big legendary upsets happen. Pittsburgh's done that the last 2 years, knocking off number 2 in the country at the time. They'll try to do that today. The weather's ideal, 49 degrees and sunny. The Irish a season-high 5th in the polls. Pittsburgh off an overtime win at home against Syracuse, just set to take the field with the stakes as high as they've been all year. Here come the Irish. Third time in the last 7 years, Brian Kelly's team has opened 6-0. The quarterback who took over 3 games ago, Ian Book, since he's been the starter, this offense is averaging 46 points per game. Pittsburgh's got a great football history as well. They've been playing Notre Dame for over a century. They return to South Bend for the first time since 2012. Pat Narduzzi's team won at the eventual national champ, Clemson, 2 years ago, ended number 2 Miami's title hopes with an upset last year. His quarterback, sophomore Kenny Pickett, what a day for this kid. He's a Jersey kid. He grew up in a family that loved watching these Notre Dame Saturdays. Today, number 8 gets to be on the other side of that experience. All right, Tap, thank you. With the Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie. Okay, they're 6-0. They've beaten the best teams on the schedule the way the season has played out. So what's the pressure now for Notre Dame?
Well, usually I would say the deeper they go into the season, the more the pressure builds, and that's down the road. And Brian Kelly hinted to that. It's sort of getting there. But right now, I think they're still growing. I think they're getting better. Dexter Williams' addition at tailback 2 weeks ago brings an explosiveness to the running game. Ian Book at quarterbacks distributing the ball. Everyone's touching the ball. Their confidence level is at an all-time high, and it's building. This is all still new. Ian Book's only been the quarterback for 4 weeks.
True.
So they should be improving.
All right, you talked about Ian Book, so did Brian Kelly. Speaking with Catherine, the defense has been a constant all year. Defense in 2012, last time they played for the championship, was so big. What's different about this defense?
Well, you go back to 2012, they were a bend, don't break, played good in the red zone, stopped the run. This defense is different in their pass rush. They've got some beast up front. They can get after the passer, the ball's out, it creates turnovers, they get sacks, pressures on the quarterback. They got some good corners that can play man coverage. It's a more dynamic defense.
Pittsburgh 3-touchdown underdog. How did they make it a close game?
Run the football. 200-yard rushers last week in the fourth quarter and overtime. That's how they won the game against Syracuse. Stick with that game plan. It takes pressure off your offensive line so you can throw the ball when you want to, not that you have to throw.
They've played some good teams this year. They've played Penn State. They've played Central Florida. They lost big in both of those games. They feel at least comfortable against this level of talent. Let's see how they do. The Panthers won the toss and deferred. The Irish will get the ball to start this absolutely awesome Saturday for football in South Bend.
97, Alex Kessman will pick off it. Jones Jr. and Michael Young are deep for the
Alex Kessman was the man. 2 50-plus-yard field goals at Heinz Field in the win over Syracuse in overtime last week. He will kick it. Michael Young is back deep to receive for the Irish. Second half of the season begins for Notre Dame. Off we go from South Bend with no return, and the Irish will take it out at the 25-yard line. So let's take a peek at the starters for Notre Dame on offense. Doug mentioned Dexter Williams, 161 and 178 in his last 2 games rushing. Miles Boykin also over 100 receiving in the last 2. For week 2, Trevor Ruland is the starting left guard with the season-ending injury to captain Alex Bars, who tore 2 ligaments in his knee. So Sam Mustipher's been a little more vocal, the center, setting it up for Ian Book, the junior quarterback from El Dorado Hills Oak Ridge High School in California. It begins from the 25, and it's a completion to Alize Mack, the tight end. A gain of 6 to begin it in front of the free safety, DeMar Hamlin.
Well, that's what we've seen out of Ian Book in his starts, that efficient short passing game. Very high percentage completions. They'd like to see him hit a few more of the downfield balls.
You see those last 3 games, Doug, 75 to 73% completion, over 70% each game. And put some touch on that one. Got it to Williams. Dexter put a foot in the ground, turned it upfield, and the first down for the Irish at the 36. Shane Roy made the tackle.
You said it. Great touch on the ball. Feels the defender getting between him and the back. Little up and over. Drop it in the bucket. Positive gain. Could have gone the other way. Could have been a tip ball. Could have gotten ugly.
Third play, third pass. It is Mack, and Alize Mack fighting through people. He's starting to emerge. That talent is starting to meet the maturity. He's becoming a much more complete player. Gain of 6 there.
The tight end position is becoming a strength for Notre Dame, and Mack here just using a little power and strength to get a positive gain out of, I mean, contact was made behind the line of scrimmage.
Senior from Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, his 20th reception there. First run attempt is Williams. That was strung out, well played by the Pittsburgh defense. Keyshawn Camp, redshirt sophomore from Lakeland, Florida, off the defensive line with the tackle. There's Camp. It's a Pittsburgh defense. You know, Pat Narduzzi, their head coach, his bones are made on the defensive side of the ball. That's where he's become so respected in college football. But they've given up 33 points a game. Book looking to take off here. Lost the football on the side. I think the player was out of bounds when he recovered it. Let's see. It's Notre Dame ball. The player was in the white on the sideline when he fell on it. Dane Jackson over there. So a promising start to the drive ends.
Out of bounds. 4th down, Notre Dame.
Jackson, the hit, the ball was definitely free and available on that sideline, but you'll see when Bright came in, he was on the white when he took possession.
And as you said, 3rd down, they'll get a lot of looks out of this defense. Try to stay out of 3rd and long.
High snap back to Tyler Newsome. John Shannon, the snapper, had a bad one against Virginia Tech last week at the 14-yard line. Rafael Araujo is stopped and sent backwards. They'll mark him back at the 12, well covered by Alohi Gilman for the Irish. 4 minutes in, opening quarter, Pittsburgh on offense for the first time. When we come back, everybody comes here and they do it. Get your picture in front of what is known to so many folks around the world as Touchdown Jesus. It's technically the Word of Life mural in front of the Hesburgh Library here just outside the stadium in South Bend. But that picture's been taken a million times and it never gets old. This will never get old for Kenny Pickett, talking about this experience. Sophomore from Central New Jersey, Oakhurst, New Jersey. Grew up in a family that loved Notre Dame, and now he starts a game here. A run for a couple of yards to begin with Quadri Olison, the big back. Tavon Coney, the tackle. Doug, we talked to him, and he was just so excited about being here and getting this opportunity. He started the game against Miami last year and won it. Hasn't really had the great season off of that one moment last year.
And talking to Pat Narduzzi before the game, he said Kenny Pickett is fired up. There's no doubt about it. He's excited about this opportunity to be here. And the team loves him. He's a tough kid, a leader, smart, gets him in and out of plays, protections. He knows his offense.
A lot of jet sweep motion and giving it. Pickett to throw. Everything covered downfield. He comes down to Araujo Lopes. And Rafael will be tackled by Asmar Bilal. But he'll pick up a first down and move the chains. There's everybody else along with the quarterback Pickett on that Pittsburgh offense. Olison leading rusher, 5 touchdowns this year. Panthers missing their best wideout, Tasir Mack, for the 2nd straight week. Up front, Alex Bookser, the right tackle, leads this offensive line. 4 of these guys have their degree, and the center, the sophomore, Jim Morrissey, the one without a degree, is a very good player. Those guys won the game in the 4th quarter in overtime last week against Syracuse. See a lot of Maurice French, too, in that motion throughout the day. Olison will gain a yard as Khalid Kareem wraps him up and brings him down.
Well, this is what Pittsburgh would like to do. They'd like to be able to hammer the football, staying good down and distance. Sean Watson, offensive coordinator, said that the game still has to slow down for Pickett. So you don't want him in a lot of 3rd and longs where he's scanning the whole field and doing all the pass protection stuff. The first read he had, he was a little indecisive, moved out of the pocket, but it kept his vision up and hits the swing. The game still has to slow down a little bit for him.
They brought Carson Van Lin, extra offensive lineman, in here. It's 2nd and 9. Olsen couldn't get that lead block to find any Notre Dame players to hit. Gain of a couple. The tackle was made by Jerry Tillery, whose great season continues. Tied for 2nd in the FBS. 7 sacks on the year. We'll visit at halftime with the captain, Drew Tranquill, 2nd in tackles despite playing with a broken bone in his hand. Julian Love off a great game, a touchdown on a fumble recovery and an INT as Sandman exited at Virginia Tech last week. 3rd and 8. Irish bring 5, including the safety on pressure, and it's complete over the middle to midfield to Maurice French. His 17th catch of the year keeps this drive alive for the Panthers.
Boy, nice job in the pocket, standing tall, in route coming into the middle of the field, lets it develop and puts it on the money. That's a nice job out of the pocket. Little stick at the top of the route, flatten it out. That's on Vaughn now. Vaughn's starting today in place of Pride. French with a nice reception. Not real polished receivers, but athletes at the receiver position for Pitt.
To the Notre Dame side of midfield for the first time today. The 49, here is Quadri Olesen, met right away, and he is stopped. Tavon Coney, you figure with a fullback in the game today, Doug, the senior Coney will be very active on tackles.
Yeah, there should be some collisions, some coming up, meeting the back in the backfield, and I tell you, this will be their time to get a linebacker, fullback type of day. Especially because Pittsburgh would love to run the ball as much as possible.
Aston and Coney will see a lot of each other. Coney, the leading tackler on this Notre Dame team. He and Drew Tranquill have been rarely off the field, and they have been mostly terrific. 2nd and 10. Kenny Pickett wants to throw, and in a tight window, it's brought down by Aaron Matthews. Be a yard shy of the 1st down. You do it in front of Dante Vaughn, seeing more action with Troy Pride not starting today.
This is a beautiful throw. I'll tell you, Vaughn does a great job of staying on the route. It's just a simple curl route. He stays there and flat-footed and breaks. Ball is just put in a perfect place outside. Nice delivery. Pickett.
So it'll set up 3rd and 1. You see Carson Van Lin, 87, in there. And a Wildcat direct snap to Olesen coming. And he's got the 1st down easily with a gain of about 8. They went to this a lot in the 2nd half last week with both Olesen and Darren Hall, the 2 backs, taking the direct snap.
What's 76? Dentino coming right to left, pulling. He hooks the outside defender. Actually, he was over already on the outside, hooking the outside defender. There was no contain on the outside. This is shaping to be what Pittsburgh would like. You know, They got a free turnover on the 4th and 4 by getting a 1st down on the punt formation.
And like you said, their equation, this is a drive that's going to take up half the opening quarter at least. Olesen up the middle. He'll gain about 4 to the 28-yard line. You know, Doug, this is a day and age where you score 50 points, you spread it with 5 wide and no backs. So to see a running team like this is more the rarity in college football. And that's the type of team that can cause upsets. They can put your offense in the freezer.
Well, what happens is your offense is used to getting back out on the field so often that you can have a wasted possession and it doesn't kill you. When the game gets short, when you're playing an option type team or a team that runs and grinds out the clock, it limits the number of possessions and you have a long time between possessions.
The 28 will be a toss to Hall, uses speed to the edge, chased by Kareem. Got a good block from his wide receiver to get the 1st down at the 20-yard line. So a nice job on the edge with a patient run by Darren Hall. Keeps this drive going.
Hall just outruns Kareem around the side. That was a deception type play where you just, everything goes one way. You try to finesse everyone, have them collapse and kick it out to the weak side like a naked bootleg. Great job so far.
And the small things magnify in a game where possessions get limited, like Ian Book taking the first down sack, like Nico Fertitta jumping offside on 4th and 4 and a punt. Toss left, Hall with speed and wiggle, puts the shoulder down. He's going to gain nearly 9 yards on first down. Alohi Gilman met him right near the 12-yard line. We'll check the mark. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Pittsburgh misses the crack block, but it doesn't matter. He's coming right downhill. These are big physical backs delivering blows at the end of the run, going for it, lower the shoulder, drive, and Hall's the finesse guy.
That's right. They're both 225 on the scale. Hall's 5'11", a little more wiggle. Olsen 6'2", a redshirt senior from Niagara Falls, packs a little more punch. The Irish defense has been good in the red zone, forcing field goals. But here's a run. Oh, maybe bouncing that outside. Hall could have gotten there. He still got the first down at the 7-yard line. And all of a sudden, we're very late in this first quarter on this opening Pittsburgh drive.
He said he had the cutback lane, and then he bounced that to the outside. Might have had an opportunity to score, but still. The job at the point, is he telling me?
No doubt.
It's like, look.
Andre Powell coaches up the running backs, and they were that close to making a big play. 1st and goal, they go back to the Wildcat. And Quadri Olesen, the running back. He's going to get stretched out, and Drew Tranquil starts it. Alohi Gilman finishes a loss of 2.
Tranquil, 23 over here, just parallels the back, doesn't get blocked at all, scraping along. He's trying to stay even with him and then contain, go get him. Downhill, when he reads something, he goes. He determines what gap he has, and he takes off forward. And he's got the club hand over there with the cast on it. Still managed to bring guys down.
Injured against Stanford, Notre Dame runs Shane Simon, linebacker, in. Olsen again up the middle this time, a touchdown. So they keep going to it, and Quadri Olesen runs it in. And Pittsburgh, with a lengthy drive, pays it off to take the lead.
76. Dentino pulling left to right. The left guard here makes a big block, but it's the deception, the fake on the jet sweep, and you get the flow of the linebackers, and it just parted north and south, and you're not going to pull him down with an arm tackle.
Team leading 6 touchdown for Quadri Olesen. And the drive kept alive by the penalty. Turns into a touchdown for the Panthers. Alex Kessman able to knock that one through. A 10-plus minute drive. Pittsburgh's got belief, and they've also eaten a lot of that first quarter. And they do it with a payoff. The Olesen 6 makes it 7-0 Pittsburgh. The Irish trail for just the 2nd time this year. Remember the game at Wake Forest a few weeks ago. They trailed 3-0. They trailed for 2 minutes and 13 seconds total this season. Georgia and West Virginia have not trailed among Power 5 teams. Bama's trailed for 70 seconds. Nick Saban said he was concerned. Here's a touchback, and the Irish will take over at their own 25. Pat Narduzzi's been here going against Brian Kelly's team with the Michigan State defense before. His defense is a 4-3. Rashad Weaver already a sack, tied for the national lead in fumble recoveries with 3. Elijah Reynolds from Brooklyn starts. Quentin Wirginis, the senior captain, tore his ACL in practice this week. Awful story for the Panthers. Dane Jackson, playmaking corner, had his 2nd career touchdown last week for the Panthers. So they face the Irish. Notre Dame takes over, 2nd drive, their own 25, and very stout up front against Williams. No place to go for Dexter. Patrick Jones, the 2nd, joins Amir Watts on the tackle.
All of a sudden, the energy level for Pittsburgh defensively is going to pick up because of what your offense just did, controlling the ball for most of the first quarter. You're rested.
2nd and 12, and Book will go up top. Chase Claypool completed the 30-yard line. Pickup of 7 for the junior receiver from Canada.
There's a 3rd and medium down distance. That might eliminate some of the blitzing, but you'll probably get a straight man-to-man coverage.
And that blitzing they're really good at. That's what they do so well.
They brought a corner blitz already early in the game.
3rd and 5. Facing pressure here. Book pulled it down. Going to take off. He will get there for the first down and more. Up the sideline. Gain of 17. Ian Book made a good choice. Got a block. I believe it was Alize Mack who sprung him.
Dexter Williams in the backfield. Something he's not great at, but has gotten better. Pass protection. Boom. Ian Book feels it, steps up through and off and running. Great block on the perimeter.
From the 48, Book again taken off with all kinds of trouble. Now throws, and it's intercepted. He threw it late, and Jason Pinnock came up with the pick, and he's down at the 38-yard line. Book had kind of reloaded, threw it late, and Pinnock from Windsor, Connecticut comes underneath and gets his first interception as the quarter ends. It's Pitt 7, Notre Dame nothing. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages reload the station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. First quarter of mistakes, a sack of Ian Book, a penalty on a punt, and an interception by Pinnock.
Ian Book's looking left. Pinnock is on Boykin. He might have had a throw there. Dexter Williams breaks open all by himself, but he comes off. Pinnock comes off his receiver, sees the ball in the air, breaks on it. There might have been a rhythm throw out of the break, but it got disrupted. So then the eyes go elsewhere. Never saw Pinnock fall off his receiver.
Nice job by Jason Pinnock, who's really been coming on. He played a very big role against the multiple receivers of Syracuse last week. Coaches like what he's seeing. More starts, more playing time, and production. So first down run by Ollison. We stopped for no gain. Khalid Kareem, I should say, is in there on that tackle.
So important for the Notre Dame defense to have a 3-and-out and get rested. They've been on the field the whole first quarter. First down stops, second down stops, create third and long situations. Pittsburgh has run the ball extremely well so far.
Saw Clark Lee, the defensive coordinator, first year as the defensive coordinator. Year 2 on this Notre Dame staff. His defense has been very consistent, very good in terms of limiting pass defense efficiency from the offense. This goes short game. Rafael Arujo Lopes tackled by Julian Love, who is having a sensational season for the Irish. Was added to the Chuck Bednarik watch list. That's the award that goes to the best defensive player in the country.
So it creates a third and long situation. Now you know that Pitt has to throw the football. Now the offensive line of Pitt has to face a pass rush. These are the situations Pitt would love to avoid, and that Notre Dame wants to be in defensively. Turn loose the pass rush.
Dalen Hayes did not play last week with a stinger. He is back in the Irish lineup. Ollison will go up the middle, and that's tracked down by Tillery from behind. Having an all-America type season, Jerry Tillery comes up with a big stop. It's 4th and 3. The Panthers will punt.
So the fullback usually leads you to where the play is, but Tillery penetrates, cuts him off, and makes the play from the backside. I mean, he's just penetrating, getting through. And in this style offense, usually you can follow the fullback. Fullback couldn't get there to be the lead blocker because of the penetration.
Chris Dedulu, if you watch the Pittsburgh opening blowout loss to Penn State, had trouble handling the ball on that wet day at Heinz Field. Been no problem since. Also, he kicks a line drive 38-yarder. Fink from the 18 gets through the first wave. And they'll return it 7 to the 25-yard line with forward progress. 2.5 gone by, second quarter. Third Notre Dame drive coming up. 129th year of Pittsburgh football. 9 national titles. Didn't we mention guys like Larry Fitzgerald, Hugh Green. Great legacy and tradition. Book up top, complete to Cole Kmet. The Notre Dame tight end gains about 8 yards on this first down.
Kmet, a pitcher in baseball, the closer, athlete, tight end, releases off the naked bootleg, simple pass in the flat. These quick rhythm movement passes is where Ian Book is at his best.
Slow start for this Notre Dame offense, which has been explosive of late, including Williams, the running back, who gets 3 here and gets a first down for the Irish.
I feel like he struggled so far on the outside routes because the corners are making contact. It's not a pure timing the timing is being disrupted a little bit, and he's holding the ball and coming off his outside routes early.
They try to get some misdirection and Fink. He only gains 2. Catherine, what's the mood down there?
Well, for most of this first half, Mike, each time Ian Book came off the field, Brian Kelly was grabbing him for a few words. And on that last drive, Kelly and offensive coordinator Chip Long were pretty vocal with Book. Brian Kelly even going as far as to physically demonstrate to Book what he wanted him to do, and Book's teammates giving him pats on the shoulder. Clearly, Pitt defense frustrating these guys, Mike.
Tony Jones Jr. trying to do something about that. Gets him a 3rd and short with that run up the middle to the 41-yard line.
Well, there's a solution if you can start running the ball north and south. But I think the timing being disrupted on the outside with the receivers, Ian Book might be either a little unsure what he's seeing or not being patient enough for the route to develop.
3rd and a yard from the 40, and it will be Jones running up inside. Got a good, tough 1.5 yards to get that first down. Initial contact was behind the line of scrimmage, but Jones powers at 220 pounds to make the first down.
Number 40, Folsom, breaks inside. Contact's made deep in the backfield, but great leg drive on a crucial conversion.
If you saw Amir Watts, 34, he took Sam Mustapher, the center, in the back there. They are getting a good push in the middle thus far. Book first down throw. Tight coverage for Boykin. Incomplete. Pinnock all over him, and a flag is thrown by the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 8, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Dwayne Hendricks. Kelly telling his guys to settle down. Narduzzi didn't like the call. Saw the extra contact there, but the whole body weight falling is an NFL thing, not a college thing. Terry McCauley, our rules analyst, is with us here in the booth. And, Terry didn't think that was something that should have been called.
No, it just looked like a normal tackle, Mike. A little high, but really not forcible at the head and neck area.
Looking to get on the board for the first time today. It is Jones on the carry. He'll only get 2 yards to about the 10-yard line. This is a Pittsburgh defense, as I said before. Their rankings aren't good. They've given up 33 a game. They've given up 420 yards a game, 200 yards a game on the ground. But right now, they have played a very solid first 25 minutes.
They're showing you a lot. Like even there was a slant on the defensive line, 2 corner blitzes so far. They're really mixing up what they're doing defensively.
2nd and 8 from the 10. Book looking end zone. The throw underneath. Mack did not hold on. Incomplete as he was tagged by Elijah Zeiss.
Field is incomplete pass, 3rd down.
The starting linebacker for the Panthers. It'll set up 3rd and 8.
Well, this is just a reaction. He's actually in pass protection, sees Book in trouble, so he slips out into the flat and tries to give him an outlet. Now you're sitting at 3rd down. Got to throw the ball from the pocket. Ian Book has to be as patient as possible, but you're getting a lot of different looks out of this 3-down look defensively.
3rd and 8. Book is pressured. He's rolling. He's running. He's not going to get there. He tackled the 5. That's 3.5 short of the first down. And the Irish will take the points down here. Go for the field goal. And the holder is going to be Nolan Henry, by the way.
Safety's moving over the top, so he doesn't have a one-on-one throw on the outside. Steps up through. Decides to take off. Just can't get there. I think he's a little confused in what he's seeing in the secondary.
So Ian Book has been the holder, but since he's the starting quarterback, Brian Kelly would like to have somebody else holding. Nolan Henry, deeper down in the quarterback depth chart, number 4, is holding for the all-time leading scorer at Notre Dame now, Justin Yoon, 22 yards, field goal attempt. The hold happens just fine, and Yoon puts the Irish on the board for the first time today. Good field position turns into a field goal, but Pittsburgh maintains the lead. Jonathan Dorr to kick it off for the Irish. This will be good hang time and a good kick. It's a touchback. Pitt takes over the 25. Panthers 3 and out their last 2 drives. It's Maurice French sweeping around the edge. Julian Okwara hangs on with a left hand and brings him down. After a gain of 4, Okwara was ejected from the game at Virginia Tech for a targeting foul with 20 seconds left in the first half last week. Because it happened then, not after halftime. He is back in the lineup today.
Well, you're one-on-one in the open field with French and be able to hang on and pull him down. That's an achievement. Quara is an elusive pass rusher. Slips off the tackle, inside spin moves, everything.
41 in the middle of the Irish defensive line. Kurt Heinisch, a Pittsburgh kid. He's right in there. He's dying to get into the backfield for the Panthers here. It's Kenny Pickett back to pass with time. Heinisch was held as he was trying to get away, and Pickett's just going to bench it, incomplete at the feet of French.
Nice patience on that. He didn't have anything down the field. He gave it a good hard look. The secondary passed things off and tried to keep it alive. Took a shot on the sideline. Mike.
Yeah, he was
Coach Mike. I'll call you Coach Mike.
Heisman Doug, anytime you want to call me, it's all good. Pickett was trying to hope something came free, and he didn't. Tariq Bracy is in the game for the Irish. 35, freshman corner from California. He's going to be bottom of your screen. One of the 5 DBs on 3rd and 5. Quick snap, Irish bring pressure, and Pickett is hit as he throws incomplete. It was Quara from around the edge, almost got there. That's been the story. A ton of pressures on the season, and a 3rd straight 3-and-out for the Irish team.
Watch him get Booker's hands off him. Watch his use of his hands coming around the edge. Whack, gone.
These pass rushers, they worked a lot together in the offseason. Kareem, Quara. Tremendous performance thus far this year. Dalen Hayes in there as well. Chris Didilu's kick. 41 yards with all that traffic around him. Fink calmly makes the fair catch. You punt returned before, right? First down from the 34. Book going to go a little bit deeper. Overthrows Alize Mack. And incomplete. There were a couple of passes to open receivers that Book overshot last week. Couldn't put the perfect touch on that one.
Another corner blitz. Paris Ford came that time from the short side of the field. Narduzzi, they're just dialing it up, change up the looks, confuse the quarterback, make him a little uncertain of what he's seeing, and then you're hesitant with the ball.
2nd and 10, and that pass is caught by Kevin Austin. The freshman receiver gets it to the 48-yard line. It'll be a first down. Dennis Briggs on the tackle for the Panthers. Make it the 47 officially for Austin. He's got 4 catches now on the season. Dexter Williams, the running back, has not broken a big one yet here. Book will be chased. That initial look has not been there throughout. Nobody's open downfield. Just run out of bounds, gain a couple of yards.
I mean, we have not seen Ian Book hold the ball this much and have to move out of the pocket this much.
Right.
It's got to be the looks he's seeing downfield. There was a wheel route that gets doubled, and Austin on the in route covered. Nothing there. And wide side. Now, maybe if Claypool just sits out there and waits, he's got to throw. But again, this is well after the fact, once he's moved and starting to scramble.
Pittsburgh, a 4-man rush again. Book takes the shot towards Boykin, who brings it in at the 20-yard line. Miles Boykin gains just about 30 yards in front of Pinnock. First down, Notre Dame.
This time, Book was more patient with the ball. Here we go down the bottom on a corner route. It's not a smooth route, little grab and turn, but it happened quickly enough. It wasn't too disruptive. But again, it's not a real pure timing route, which is what Ian Book has been used to happening.
Claypool comes in motion here. 1st and goal. Book, look out, in trouble. Cannot get away. He'll go down. Don't know who they give credit to. You got to watch a throat slash gesture from Dwayne Hendricks, number 8, after he and Rashad Weaver combined for the sack. It takes it back to the 17-yard line. Timeout here. Notre Dame back in 30. Pressure coming. 2nd and goal. The corner blitz. And Book scrambles to get a yard. So right now, Notre Dame struggling with where the pressures are coming from on this Pittsburgh team. 27 seconds to go.
Boy, he comes down in a loop around, but there was the corner blitz coming from the weak side. They have to start sight adjusting that and throwing the ball out into the flat quickly.
3rd and goal. Again pressure. Book is hit and brought down by Dennis Briggs. Timeout Notre Dame to set up what will be a 42-yard field goal. But the story here, 1st and goal and 3 blitzes by Pittsburgh.
Please reset the game clock to 11 seconds.
Avery Davis, young guy in the backfield. Here he comes from deep. And number 3, Avery Davis in the backfield, doesn't see it coming, steps inside, late getting to the outside, sack. They're bringing it from every direction, all these multiple looks. You're going to have to start going to quick rhythm passing where the ball's out.
But they've been playing
the pocket.
But Pittsburgh's been playing man coverage against that and taking that away.
Right. So you go to your pick plays.
Rubs?
Rubs, I'm sorry. Well, the corner blitz from the outside edge is very difficult to see for a quarterback. The only hint is that the safety on that side of the field gets wider than usual, and you don't always see it.
And Pat Narduzzi, as he has drawn up, taking a lot of notes in that reporter's notebook. It's a good story to write in the first half. From 41, Pittsburgh runs an extra player off. They have 11 now. Brian Kelly wanted a call there, doesn't get it, and Yoon gets the field goal from 41. 7-6, the Panther lead is 1, and we are back in 30 seconds. 3 touchdown dog. Panthers come into South Bend, and like they usually do, make it a tight game. At the break, Pitt 7, Notre Dame 6. State Farm halftime report with Liam and Chris coming up after these messages and a word from your local NBC station. All set for our second half here in South Bend. A surprise 3-touchdown underdog Pittsburgh leading Notre Dame. A very anemic offensive first half. Credit the defenses for sure. 228 yards total. That's 3 drives for teams this far in college football this year. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan on the sidelines. Terry McCauley, our rules analyst, with us as well. So what is it about the defense of Pittsburgh that has given so many problems to Notre Dame, and how do they fix it?
Well, they've had a lot of corner blitzes. They've done exotic-type blitzes on the third down packages, and they're confusing Ian Book, and he's holding the ball a little longer than he's used to holding it. The answer is being able to run the football against the stacked box, but still be able to get the running game going. The running game has been non-existent.
Pressure. It starts to build. The players had midterms this week. They've had a tough week. They've heard about being a top 5 team, all the playoff stuff. Does it become more real after a half like that?
Absolutely. Now all of a sudden, everything you've worked for all off season, everything that you thought was sitting in front of you, lies in the next 30 minutes of football. And it's on the line. So now every mistake gets magnified, and you start playing a little tight.
This is a Notre Dame team that has gone through these first 6 games, usually in the lead. There have been tight games, the Michigan game, of course, the Stanford game, first half of Virginia Tech last week, but Brian Kelly knew this was going to be a difficult challenge by the pedigree of Pittsburgh playing here. The upset success of Pat Narduzzi the last 2 years. They won at Clemson. They beat number 2 Miami when it looks like the Canes and that turnover chain were unbeatable. Kickoff return coming here to start the half. It is Maurice French for Pittsburgh. French, who has a touchdown return this year in the opening game of the season, is across midfield. He's down the sideline, and he's gone! Maurice French all the way. Second half kickoff. Touchdown Panthers. 99 yards. That kick had good hang time, but it was right in the middle of the field, and French had a terrific return.
It's a tight crease, but he trusts the blocking and hits it with speed and steps through. Once he's there, it's just pure speed. He's dangerous in the open field. It's the same way if he were to catch wide receiver screens and everything else. This kid is dynamic.
French took the opening kickoff of the season back 91 yards against Albany. It was a great way to start the Panthers season, and what a way to start this second half for Pittsburgh. Alex Kessman on for the extra point. And a stunned crowd here in South Bend as the Panthers have taken a 14-6 lead.
He's just following. He gets a little kick out, and there's a crease, so he goes north-south, and it's all over. I mean, they're right there. With his speed, it's already over.
Dorr couldn't get him. Could not push him to the sideline with Fertitta or Gilman chasing him. Jonathan Dorr and kickoffs this year have been a story for Notre Dame. He has a huge leg, but has not performed as well in games as he does during practices. And for example, Brian Kelly turned to Justin Yoon at the end of the Virginia Tech game last week just to get that guaranteed touchback. They're trying to develop Dorr because he shows the skill, but kicked a couple out of bounds each of the first 2 games this year. That time left one in the middle of the field for French, who brings it back for Pat Narduzzi's team. Yeah, the only kickoff return by an ACC player thus far this year, and adds 1 there, a second for him on the season. Kessman kicked it, and from 3 deep, Young will take a knee. The Irish offense will start at the 25, and Book will keep on the run up the middle. Ian Book, he's got the longest Notre Dame run of this day with a 22-yarder, and that's a 15-yarder before Jason Pinnock made the tackle.
Well, that might be one of the answers, or quarterback runs. To get the running attack started, when you run the quarterback, you do the zone reads, then you can account for everyone.
Here is Book throwing to Alize Mack, 5th catch for the tight end, and Mack will gain just about 10. He'll be a half-yard short of the first down. Dennis Briggs the tackle.
Chip Long's did a good job of giving him a couple of go-to plays right away to get the offense started. I'm thinking in the pass game, you start going to the zone protections where you just try to not leave gaps open.
It's 2nd and 18. Book retreating, firing, caught Fink. Out of bounds, 35, gain of 17, first down. In front of Jazzy Stocker.
Just a great job of delivering a strike. Here's your slot receiver on the corner route, Fink. And the ball, oh, nice double move. It takes a little time, and Ian Book was patient in the pocket, drifted and fell away on this throw, and delivered a strike.
35, a quick toss to the edge trying, and Tony Jones Jr. out there. He crumples down after taking a big hit. Phil Campbell III limits the gain.
I think Ian Book's going to have to do that a little more, hanging in there and not leaving the pocket, drift just a little, and keep your focus on that receiver, because guys are coming open. They're coming open late. It's not happening in rhythm like he's accustomed to.
See those rushing numbers. The longest run by an Irish running back is 7 by Jones. Book pumps, didn't see the first one. Fink was the outlet. Takes a loss of yards to a gain of 2. And it'll bring up 3rd and about a half dozen.
All right, you can't teach this. This is ridiculous. He had his focus downfield. He wants to throw the ball down the field, decides not to, and as he's falling backwards, just throws it out, knowing his receiver was out in the flat. That's a no-look pass. There's Magic Johnson.
Patrick Mahomes, who we're going to see on Sunday Night Football tomorrow, does that a lot. They kind of look the other way, fire with that rocket arm. 3rd down. Here is Book throwing complete. And 2 receivers in the area. Claypool getting in the way. Fink getting the catch. Gain of 15 to the 15. First down, Notre Dame.
Go to the guys you trust. I mean, Fink beats him on the corner route, takes the ball on the flat. Now he's going to come into motion and run a little pivot route. Start out and back under. Kind of a little screen play by Claypool. Ian Book's finding a guy he's trusting right now.
Mark it at the 16. We get towards 2 minutes here. 3rd quarter, Irish down 8. Book, Claypool, slant, end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame for the first time today. They'll go for 2 in the top.
Little change release by the receivers, and he slips underneath. They've done a good job on the last 3 plays of switching. Watch him come underneath. It forces the DBs to try to switch something on the fly, and that's a 3rd straight play where receivers come wide open on that.
It's a nice adjustment by Chip Long to try to slow down some of those corner blitzes and that action, cause traffic amongst the DBs. Irish have gone for 2 once this year, did not convert it. Big receiver Boykin in motion. But going that way. Boykin couldn't hang on. And Pittsburgh remains on top by 2. Boykin couldn't bring it in. His receiving partner Chase Claypool did for his 3rd touchdown of the season. His 3rd touchdown in the last 4 games. Irish score a touchdown for the first time today. 2 left in the 3rd, and the margin is 2. Book hit all 6 passes on that drive. Justin Yoon is kicking off again. After Dorr's kickoff turned into a touchdown, and Yoon hits a line drive that French will not get his hands on. It'll be a touchback. Justin Yoon, the Irish all-time league scorer, the kicker, he kicked off there, and watch him as he comes across this. You'll see him grimace a little bit, and as I watched him come over the sideline, he was limping a little. We'll keep an eye on the kicker. This is a catch to the sidelines by Rafael Araujo Lopes, and he'll gain 9 to the 34-yard line.
Well, this Notre Dame defense has done a great job of getting off the field after that first drive, first quarter. Been handing the ball back to the offense till the offense finally gained some rhythm. So again, just big opportunities. Pitt control the clock, working down to the end of the third quarter.
Pittsburgh team that is 3-3 on the year. Lost to Penn State, North Carolina, Central Florida. Up the middle, wide open for Olesen. Quadri Olesen gets a first down into Irish territory. Well, they'll mark him right at midfield. It's a gain of 17. It's the best run they've had in a while for the Panthers, and Olesen is coming off. His 14th carry of the day, still under 50 yards.
Well, that's a great answer for Pitt for the Notre Dame touchdown to close the gap, to be able to come back and finally start to move the football.
You lose Olesen, but you don't lose much for the moment, as Darren Hall out of Youngstown, Ohio, checks in, averaging 6.5 a carry on the season. Final minute of the third. Here is Hall. He gets a nice opening there on the right side of that offensive line. A gain of 6. This Pittsburgh offensive line has done quite well here on these 3 drives, starting the first half, the second half, and here.
78 Buchser at right tackle here. He's on his block this time, but the play before as well, he sealed. He came up onto the linebacker level. They're doing a great job the last 2 plays of getting to a second level. You know, the combo block at the line of scrimmage, sealing off a linebacker.
Mount Lebanon High School, 32nd start. You see those 5 there. The center, Morrissey, is a sophomore. The other 4 have their degree, their undergraduate degrees. All taking grad classes now. That's the fullback, George Aston, for the first down run. Loie Gilman backs down from no confrontation that includes a conversation. That's going to take us to the 4th quarter. Notre Dame, all the talk of what's going to happen, etc., etc. It's Pittsburgh putting the pressure on the Irish again. After 3, it's the Panthers 14, undefeated Notre Dame 12. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. Good one going. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. As we start the 4th quarter here in South Bend, the Irish trailing Pittsburgh by 2. Want to send along our best to Lou Holtz, championship coach of the Irish. That statue out there. Coach was in a minor car accident this week. He's doing okay. He's at home. You know, his wife Beth has been in poor health. Coach, just want to send you our best. Let you know that we're thinking and praying for you and Beth. And that comes from all the Notre Dame fans and the folks here in South Bend. Last championship winning coach here at Notre Dame 30 years ago. Irish trying to get themselves in position to play for another title. They got a 4th quarter to handle here. Pickett in trouble, scrambling. Pickett going to turn it upfield. They got away from the Pittsburgh native Heinisch. Umpire gets in the way of the would-be tackle. Gets to the sideline of the 25-yard line. Pushed by Bracey, and no call is made. Could have been a disaster. Turns into a gain of 8.
He's a gritty kid. You know, when he gets out on the perimeter, okay, he doesn't like what he sees. He starts to move. He gets out to the right. I'm thinking, don't make a mistake. Be careful with the ball. He does exactly that, tucks it under, and turns into a running back.
Umpire couldn't get out of the way of Jalen Elliott with bodies going in every different direction.
Nice pick.
Yeah.
Attaboy, Mike. Way to throw a block.
Terrence Ramsey, the umpire, he was just caught up in a play that started on the left, went to the right, came back his way. 2nd and a dozen. Pickett trying to set up a screen. It's not there. So he's going to run and just get out of bounds. Third and long coming up. Game's getting tight. Game's getting late. Shadows are growing. Everybody's uptight with each call. Good.
Olesen really couldn't get out. Couldn't really get out.
Look at the hole that was missed here.
Right tackle, there's a little left-hand pull-down throw, but Olesen got held up by Bonner.
All right, 25-yard line.
Set the stage, coach.
You got 3rd and a dozen coming up. Field goal from here is 43 yards. Four-man Notre Dame rush. Got rid of it quick. The tight end Greg caught it and taken it at the 18-yard line. And that'll make it a closer field goal of 36 yards or 35, depending on the spot.
Timeout, injured Pittsburgh player number 2.
Yeah, definitely a play call to set up the field goal to gain extra yardage to get the field goal a little closer and to extend the lead to put touchdown pressure on Notre Dame.
Maurice French is the player who they stopped the game for the moment for. He goes over to the sideline. They'll wind the clock as Alex Kessman gets set for another one. From 36, he missed a 47 earlier. He missed that one to the right. Alex Kessman, who hit 2 bombs last week, a 54 and 55 in the win over Syracuse, has missed from 47. He's missed from 36. And it's a 2-point game. 3 minutes into the fourth. Temperature in the upper 40s. Midterms just done here in South Bend. Been a busy week for the students. Well, the football players said it was 2, 3 a.m. this week studying. Coming off the late night arrival at about 4 a.m. on Sunday morning after the evening victory in Blacksburg. Now they're trying to pull it together to keep the undefeated season alive. Irish down 2. Fake on the reverse. Commit the tight end. Face mask. Take him to the 29. They throw the flag. There it is. He'll take it out to the 44-yard line. Sean Idowu. Guilty.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 23. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
There's a look at the face mask, but a great play call to be a drive starter by Chip Long to come out after him. Then they want to go no huddle like they did last drive, create some tempo. So Pittsburgh's defense can't get into the exotic blitzes. However, the penalty slows things down.
You could pick up, and Chris Sims mentioned that at halftime, that no huddle would take some of the creativity out of this defense. Williams to the short side. Pittsburgh did not ask him to come play football there. Book on the slant, Claypool on the catch. In the traffic, chases right around midfield. There'll be third down coming up.
They're getting a lot of use out of the change release by receivers to open someone up quickly and try to create tempo. Get back over the ball. Don't let Pittsburgh line up and get into their exotic blitzes. But that change release opens a receiver right now, and Book's getting the ball out quickly.
This is 3rd and 4, and Book is going to throw it. It is caught, but Matt cannot shake free of Dennis Briggs. And it'll be 4th down at the 49-yard line. I think Notre Dame might think about going for it here. It's 4th and 2 at the 49 of the Panthers. And the Irish offense will stay out on the field. Notre Dame lined up to go for it on 4th and 2, brought the offense out there. Now they bring out the punting unit after Pat Narduzzi took the timeout. So they're trying to pin them back with a Tyler Newsome punt. Both of his punts today have dropped inside the 20. This is super high and does not take the bounce. It goes all the way. So the net is only 29 yards. Important game in the National College Football Playoff picture here in South Bend with 10.5 to go in the 4th. Pittsburgh's got the ball. They've got a 2-point lead.
And we have a 3-point ball game. It's a big challenge for the Panthers. That kick long enough. That kick high enough. And that kick is good. An unbelievable upset. And the Panthers extend their lead over an unbeaten football team. The biggest upset in Panther history.
A longtime voice of the Panthers, Bill Hillgrove's voice on some of the great upsets Pittsburgh's had in the last 2 years. Trying to add to that here today. Kenny Pickett's pass complete. And Rafael Araujo Lopes is out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Time for the quarterback comparison brought to you by Volkswagen. Pickett 16 of 21. 8 rushing yards. Ian Book, high percentage completions again, but it's been a struggle, especially in the first half. He's thrown 2 interceptions and only thrown 1 in the first 3 games he became the starter. Pittsburgh's defense has given him fits. Meantime, Pickett is 9 for 10 in this second half. The middle, Darren Hall across the 40 into the 44-yard line. Pittsburgh took over the game last week with physical running and an offensive line paving the way. Pat Narduzzi would love to see that here.
In the last 2 possessions, the offensive line has been able to move, create creases, hold on to possession of the ball. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, they finished in 0 points with 2 missed field goals, but they began to possess the ball again and move it. The wide receiver screens have happened on first down, big gains, 8 yards to set up short yardage situations.
That 17-yard run, Doug, was the longest play of the day for Pittsburgh. Up 2, 9.5 to go. This is Hall again. He'll go inside for 4 yards to the 49-yard line. Doug, to your point about the missed field goals, it still had an effect of keeping the ball away from Notre Dame. 22 plays, 106 yards on the last 2 drives. So the Panthers have eaten 11, now 12.5 minutes of clock time, even though they don't have a score to show for it on offense.
And if this drive resembles either one of those drives, Notre Dame will have 1 shot with the ball.
Could be 1 drive. That's right. You start thinking about that now. It's a great point. Under 9. 2nd and 6. Throwing it to Arujo Lopes. And he'll work the sidelines, set up 3rd and short. Tariq Bracy in on the tackle. And again, Pittsburgh has kept the game manageable. This was the game plan coming in. Run the ball, keep it away from Notre Dame. 10-minute drive in the first quarter. Get a big play. They had a 99-yard kickoff return to start the second half. They've done everything they've needed to. Now can they close the deal and knock off a top 5 team for the 3rd time in the last 3 years? Third and 3, they go shotgun here. Let's see if they'll throw. The Irish can bring pressure. They bring 6. Hall releases in the open field. Play made by Okwara. Julian Okwara, the defensive end, who has dropped multiple times this year, comes up with the big tackle, and the Panthers will punt it away.
Okwara drops from the end position, and Gilman is blitzing from inside. He's coming inside, and he's going to drop out in coverage and pick up the back. Now you're in open space with a tailback. Making the play in space, great tackle in open field.
Talked about the smoke and mirrors shown by the Pittsburgh defense, so effective in their pressures. Credit Clark Lee there. Play clock runs down. Chris Dulu will kick it to Chris Fink. Try to force a long field for the Irish. The Australian nails it. Too far. So that one will net 30. The Irish will get it at the 20. Halfway through the 4th. Pressure building in South Bend. From the 20, Ian Book rolls it. Shot play. Downfield. Claypool. Flat. Almost made the catch as well. Dane Jackson in coverage. 15-yard advance to the 35.
Looks like it was just a little pull.
Defense, number 11, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And the left arm wrapping around when they start to play the ball down the field. There's a little tug, and then the left arm there on the left arm of Claypool. But that's a shot play from the get-go. Ian Book pulling up, waiting for that backside post and just airing it out. It was actually a great throw and very good coverage on the play.
So at 15, here is Williams. Bounces to the outside. Dexter Williams. Gain of 13, first down, 48-yard line. Biggest run by a Notre Dame running back today. Phil Campbell III, the safety, showed him the sideline.
Little slide step and very patient. Unblocked defender in the hole, skip to the outside and get the corner. Great job by Boykin downfield, staying on his block.
See if they keep running it to the boundary, to that near side. Williams again is going to gain 2 just across midfield, under 7 minutes to go.
I mean, all day, that's the aspect of the Notre Dame offense that has been really missing, has been the run game. If they could just, the 2 creases mostly were on zone read type of runs.
Six and a half to go. Book pulls it, keeps it, and through the middle, there's just not much there. Pittsburgh's been bringing a lot of bodies to the right spot. Twyman and Hamlin both have made big plays in this game. Make the stop there. And from the 47, here comes 3rd and 5, Doug.
4 down territory now? I would believe so. Again, I like Fink on little pivot routes, change release where you come off someone else underneath the receiver.
We're going to Alizé Mack a lot in these short situations. Fink is in the slot at the bottom. Pressure comes. Book throws. It's caught by Boykin at the 35-yard line. First down for Miles in front of Jason Pinnock.
This time, Pinnock, he's been playing it tight, but this time bails a little quicker, so it is a rhythm throw.
5:50 to go. Field goal gives the Irish the lead. Book wants it up. Go in end zone. And it is caught. Boykin. Touchdown Notre Dame.
Little bit of a play action fake, which holds the safety, so the safety's not involved, and Boykin got a great inside release, a perfect throw over the top. He gets grabbed and pulled right here as he's pulling away, little tug, closes the cushion, but the ball is perfect.
Fascinating choice here, up 4. The 2-point chart tells you to go for 2, make it a 6-point game. The Irish will go for 1. Yoon adds the extra point, and the lead is 5. Some folks do think that in a 4-point, since they put the 2-point defensive in there in college football, if you block it and take it back the other way, then a field goal wins. That's why sometimes you go against the chart. Big touchdown by Boykin, his 4th of the year. The Irish respond with the season on the line. And for the first time today, Notre Dame leads. Yoon may have tweaked that groin, as we told you earlier, so Dorr is kicking off again, and this one's a touchback. So the return will come from the 25-yard line. He will be well received. Under pressure, Jonathan Dorr came up with a big one. Well, it could have been a tie game after the Irish scored the touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Ian Book's pass to Miles Boykin was just away from those outstretched arms. But Boykin comes up with the redemption as these two perfectly connect on this touchdown pass to give Notre Dame a 5-point lead with 5:43 to go. The senior comes through. Now the Irish defense, which has only given up 7 points today, the other 7 on a kickoff return. Can they answer the call? They do on the first play. Drew Tranquil stops Quadri Olison. Maybe a half yard, no more.
It's a condensed set. Primarily looked like a run set. Pitt is not an air it out football team, and they're getting into that situation where they may not be able to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust all the way up the field.
Welcome to those of you watching Washington, Oregon. All 7 teams on the board at auction at the break out there. Dandy of a finish here in South Bend. The Irish trailed till just a moment ago. Now up 5 with 5 to go. Pittsburgh a 3-touchdown dog trying to pull the upset. Here is Pickett. Over the middle, it's caught. Hard hit, but hung on to by Aaron Matthews, who's had a big game today.
Great throw by Pickett. Really good job of Matthews hanging on this ball, waiting for him to come into a window right in here. He's going to wait patiently. Here comes bang. Perfect rhythm timing, feels that zone. That's a nice completion. Pickett looked good out of the pocket, delivered a strike. He's going to have to do that a little bit in this drive.
He's been good all half. The kid who grew up idolizing Brady Quinn, watching Notre Dame football. His dogs are named Brady and Quinn. Trying to come up with a moment of a lifetime here in South Bend. Gives to Hall. A play adjusted at the line of scrimmage by the quarterback. Picked the right one. It's a gain of a half dozen. We've got 4:23 to go. Pat Narduzzi was furious with the officials while we were away in break. That pass interference call got that drive started. Meantime, Notre Dame's defensive line, I should say, has to try to hold up here. Including 41 in the blue and gold of the Irish. Kurt Heinisch, guy who grew up, going to high school a half-mile away from Pitt's campus. Pickett, boot, chased by Kareem, throws across the back late, and it is incomplete. Elliott might have dug it off the ground to keep it alive, and he and Tavon Coney could not get it. third down coming up.
Risky throw. I mean, Pickett's moving to his right. He really doesn't have anything. This is one he should throw away. And Elliott just comes charging from his safety position to get to this. I mean, he came 15 yards downhill to cut in front of a tight end on a crossing route, and it almost stayed alive for Coney. That's an exceptional break from where he was.
It would have been very close. Loud as it's been all day. 3rd and 4. Olsen's the back. Pickett the throw. Incomplete. What does Narduzzi do? They want a flag. They're screaming for one on the Pittsburgh side. You got to make a decision here, coach. Got to gather yourself. Are you going to go for it or what? 4th and 4, your own 45. 3:42 to go. 2 timeouts. You're going to punt it away. Gilman's pulling him.
Yeah, he got a little tug. Got a little tug. I would have been looking to get the ball in French's hands any way you can. A guy like Jacques that can go the distance with French and the wide receiver screens, the little pivot routes.
Notre Dame jumped offside earlier on the same situation, 4th and 4. It's going to be a fake. It's Christodoulou, the Aussie. He's looking. He's scrambling. He throws incomplete on the sideline. Nothing doing. Irish kept their defense out there, and they were ready for it. And that's one of the reasons they didn't put Christodoulou out there. They put the other kicker out there. So they went to everything possible in the book of tricks.
Well, that's your recognition factor of knowing who's on the field. And in this situation, you've got your defense on the field. Everything is good. He didn't have any options.
Fascinating. At 96, with the throws, so well disciplined. Chris Maloney is the only 96 listed, a backup defensive lineman. That was a guy with no name on his jersey. Irish take over at the 45-yard line. 3:34 to go. It's a toss to Williams to the right. Got to stay in bounds. He does to the 41-yard line. Pittsburgh used a timeout earlier. They only have 2 remaining. So again, just to clear that up, the only 96 in the Pittsburgh roster is Chris Maloney, defensive lineman, a freshman for Fort Washington, Pennsylvania, who is not on the travel roster that the Panthers provided us. So deep in the book of tricks to try to make that one happen.
If you're going to do something like that, I prefer, especially in these types of situations, it to be my offense on the field on 4th and 4 instead of a trick play, fake punt, 4th and 4.
Especially when they go punt safe. They kept their defense on the field, not special teams.
I mean, and then once you see it, go ahead and use your timeout and go back to your offense.
Book, since he threw that pick, has been perfect. Another run inside with Williams, gains a yard. Pittsburgh takes a timeout with 2:44 to go.
Pittsburgh, second timeout of the second half.
So now down to 1 timeout here for Pittsburgh. Notre Dame. Oh, that was Jeff George Jr. All right, so the 3rd quarterback, Jeff George Jr., whose dad, as you know, was in the NFL for many years. He transferred in here. He was at Illinois, earned his undergraduate business degree, went to high school at Warren Central. He's supposed to be number 3, he was 96. They're going to throw on 3rd and 6. Book is looking. Book's in trouble. He's going to run for it. He's going to be very close. Where's the mark? The mark is shy. The mark looks shy. The clock will run.
4th down. 4th down.
It's 4th down. Does Pittsburgh want to take a timeout or not? They do. They're all the way out past the numbers to get the timeout. Now Narduzzi wants time back on the clock. He's like, why isn't anybody over there? Because they were out running for the spot.
The 3rd and final timeout.
To bring in Terry McCauley as we watch the play. We're going to watch the spot. Terry, help us on this here.
As soon as he breaks down to slide feet first, that's where the ball goes.
Where the ball is at that point.
At that point, the foremost point of the ball when he breaks down right there. So he's clearly short of those of the line of game.
You think it's a good spot?
Yes.
Let me hit you on the second point, or there's more importantly, is there anything there to turn it over?
No,
right.
No, absolutely not.
And then putting time back on the clock, that's a tough one for the officials because you're coming in to spot the ball. The officials on that sideline with Narduzzi. Could you use replay to go back and put time on the clock, or it has to be a feel thing on the field?
If there's a shot of him calling timeout and we have the clock, then they can put it back to when he called timeout.
And if Notre Dame gets this 1 yard, the game should be over. They only have to take 3 knees. Rock Wright is the fullback. Book is rolling. He's looking to throw. He's scrambling. He's not going to get there. Pittsburgh comes up with the play. Chase Pine with the stop. And the Panthers will take over with 2:36 and out of timeouts.
Pine collisions Wisher. Nick Wisher is going to release late, would have been open, but Pine coming from here collisions, and there's nothing left for Book to see or throw. It's a great job of keeping it contained and making the tackle in the open field. And this is Chip Long. Chip likes to go for the big play, whether it was 2 plays ago when he called a pass play and Ian Book ended up scrambling, or on 4th and short, looking for, you know, they're selling out to stop the run. I'm going to go with something else. Great job by the Pitt defense. Phenomenal.
And now it's mind you, we've had 3 different clock resets, including 24 seconds put back at the start of the quarter. Pittsburgh's thrilled to have those now. 1st and 10 for Kenny Pickett. He's got time. Now he doesn't. Kareem's chased him. Kareem spun him. Kareem sacked him. Khalid Kareem. Big loss. They lost 14 and the clock's running.
Right over the left guard. He splits the 2 as they start to pass off the stunt. Kareem comes free.
Millen and Dentino didn't handle the handoff. Pickett fires, flutters. It is deflected and incomplete. It was fluttering out there. Houston Griffith deflected it, and then the contact came from Bracey, so that's why it's no pass interference. The contact with the ball happened first.
Julian Acquire on the way on the pass rush got a little deflection as it was released, which creates the flutter. Again, it's pass rush. Kareem, then Acquire, and this could have wound up being an interception.
You have to get to the 48. You have 2 plays to do it. 3rd and 24.
Get it to your athletes underneath and let them run to try to get half of this.
Rushing 3, dropping 8 are the Irish. Pickett's over the line of scrimmage. That's an illegal forward pass. Flag is thrown on the far side. Illegal forward pass, loss of down, plus the yards, 4th down.
And the weakness is getting shown right away.
Interesting, they're calling false start over
Illegal
there.
formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. Penalties decline. 4th down.
So send 4 verticals up the seams and just go long and hang on the ball for a while and try to look someone off and throw the other way. And go get it.
And the Irish just rushed 3 with Kareem, Tillery, and Acquire.
I'm not big on just rushing 3 because he can hang on to the football and move around and let something develop. I would rather bring 5 and drop everyone to the sticks.
Here's the game, 4th and 29. Still they get pressure. He is flushed, puts it up for grabs. Sideline it is. Caught but out of bounds. Incomplete. And the Irish will survive. Trey Tipton, who's caught 2 balls all year, was the intended receiver. And Notre Dame's defense has done the job and will get the Irish out of this one with a victory.
You called it with a 3-man rush. Julian Acquire does a spin move, splits 2 of the offensive linemen coming from our right side here, spins underneath, splits the 2 of them, the guard, and it's on. And he's got to get rid of the football and throw it up for grabs. Great effort going up and getting the ball foot out of bounds.
So Pittsburgh out of timeouts, and the Irish will just take a knee here and close it out. Irish fans would be best served rooting for those teams already on the schedule to keep winning, because it does look like Notre Dame's going to have a big heavy hitter to knock off. But as we see with Georgia losing by 13 to LSU, we saw with Auburn today, nobody knows anything yet.
Keep surviving, move on to the next week. A win is a win.
Irish are off next week and then go to San Diego to play the Naval Academy. A lot of respect there, those 2 guys. They both spoke very highly of each other during this week. (19-14) the final, and we go downstairs to Catherine.
Coach, season on the line. You had to battle through a lot of adversity in this one. How did you manage to pull off this victory today?
Well, I mean, look, these are going to be tough games, and you got to find a way to win. And Pittsburgh played well today, but we found a way to make a couple of plays in the second half, made a couple of throws. defensively played well all day today. We put them in a bad situation with a kickoff return for a touchdown and then kept the drive alive. But defensively played well. Again, I think it's a good wake-up call that you've got to play each and every week. We didn't play our best today, but found a way to win.
You didn't take the lead in this game until just under 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. So what changed from that point on for your team?
Well, I mean, we turned the ball over twice. We got in the red zone, kicked field goals. So we had been moving the ball very effectively, but it was turnovers and not executing at the highest level offensively. And again, I think, you know, they did a great job of controlling the clock. They ran the football. We had one possession in the first quarter. So again, just, you know, stayed with it, kept grinding it out. It wasn't our best performance, but again, you know, when you're playing the kind of schedule we do week in and week out, you're going to have some of these battles. You got to find a way to win.
All right, Coach, enjoy the bye week next week.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Catherine, then after that bye week for the Irish, they will go to Northwestern. Florida State will come here for the last game. If you want to hear more from Brian Kelly, his press conference is on NBCSports.com momentarily. See at 7 Eastern for football night before the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, and the undefeated Chiefs against the Patriots in Foxborough on Sunday Night Football. Seth Meyers is the host. Paul Simon's the musical guest, live across the country, Saturday Night Live tonight on NBC. We'll see you from here in a month, Florida State Notre Dame. Rob Hyland, our producer, Pierre Musso, our director, with Terry McCauley, Catherine Tappan, Doug Flutie, Mike Tirico. So long from South Bend.